Hello, hello, leaders. I don't know what's happening here. I am here for Tip Thursday, and we are going to just talk about having the right focus today, okay? So if you don't know me, my name's Anya Faust, and I am the Superstar Director for the Wildflower Warrior Group. Super excited to be here and just talk about focus, okay? Because it's really, really easy for us to not stay in our lane. It's easy to not stay in our lane. Well, they're doing this and they're doing that. And it's really, really, really easy to look at an SSD and say, oh my gosh, look at her office. Oh my gosh, look at all the bars behind her. Oh my goodness, look at what she's doing. Look at her huge customer base. It's so easy to look at an SSD and think that is like what you should be focused on. Oh my gosh, look at her mailers. They're so cute. They've got her face on them. Okay, congrats, all right? But you're not an SSD, and that's okay. That's okay, all right? I want you to think about this. It is so easy, and I feel like it's a now thing in our generation where we're looking at our parents and everything that our parents have right now, where they're at, and we're like, well, I should have that too. But like they're way older than us. They've put in so much more work than us. There's way more experience there, okay? There's been a lot of hard work, a lot of ups and downs, a lot of things that we don't really see, right? Because we're their children. We don't see it that way, that they have what they have for a reason. And we're like, well, that should come to me right now, right here. But like when they were our age, right, they didn't have those things, okay? Or you might be steps ahead of where they were at your age now, but right? You can't sit here and be like, man, I really want all of this up here, but you forget the steps it takes to get there. Does that make sense? So yes, SSD can happen one day. I really believe that if you put in the work and you focus on the right things, it will happen. 100%. Did for me, it can for you. Like I'm nobody special, but what you focus on matters, okay? So I want you guys to think about that because it's very important that we realize it's okay not to have fancy mailers. It's okay not to have a really big fancy office. We're looking for a house right now and it's failing. It's failing looking for a house. Hey, Molly, we're looking for a house and I was telling the realtor, I said, it is imperative for me to have an office in our home. I've got to have an office. And she's like, okay. And I was like, I work from home, but it's extremely necessary that I have an office. I don't want a house if I don't have an office. It's just that simple for me. And we got in the car and my oldest said, do you remember when you had all of your stuff in the pantry? I said, I do remember when I had all of my stuff in the pantry. Yes, I do. And he said, and before that, do you remember when you put all your stuff just in this one teeny little closet upstairs that had all the blankets in it? And I was like, yes, I do remember that. Okay. So that really opened my eyes to be like, you know what? It's been leaps and bounds, right? Now I can sit here and I can say, no, I need an office. But I didn't start that way. And it's okay to not start where an SSD is. I feel like a lot of people get that mixed up. We're so focused on having the pretty mailers and the wall of scent bars behind us and a fancy office and all these things that all of these SSDs have, but it took time to get there. You are seeing their now, okay? You're not seeing their very beginning because we weren't around for their very beginning, right? We all started after. So we weren't around from their very beginning. So to see the now, it's easy for us all to have blinders on, even me, and be like, that's what I need to do. That's what I need to have. And while yes, you need to be doing the things an SSD is doing, there are certain things that we don't need to focus on for a while, okay? So it's okay not to have an office. It is okay not to have a mailer with your face on it. That's really fancy. It's okay not to have everything be matchy. Big things are great, but they do take time, and that's okay. It's okay. You've got to stay in your lane. Your mail outs and your stuff that you're doing is not going to look exactly like Whitney or me or Chloe or Chastity. It's just not. And that's okay. My stuff is not going to look like theirs either. Like I am myself, okay? And I am focused on other things. A lot of them have really strong customer bases that have been with them for years. You guys, if you've not been in the business for years, you're not going to have the same customer base. Surprise! That's okay. Yes, Molly. Hey, Ashley. Exactly. We have to sit here and be like, no, whoa, wait a minute. Okay, when I say I did what the SSDs did, that's why I'm here today. It's because I focused on these things. Not because I was making fancy mailers, not because I was trying to be out there doing the most, okay? It's because I literally focused on these things, all right? So we have to stay in our own lane while still knowing it's possible to reach the top. Mindset is gonna be everything. It's not gonna look like theirs. It's okay. You're not gonna have as many likes as they have, most likely. It's okay. It's all right, okay? Eventually, yes, but we've got to be grounded in where we are while knowing we can get up here and we can get to where we want to be. That's super, super important, okay? So, overspending on stuff, having everything matchy-matchy and being super fancy is not going to get you to where you want to be. Remember, you should be spending your Scentsy money on Scentsy things, okay? You should not be going into debt, doing all the craziness to try to look like an SSD when you're not one. Y'all, I am now an SSD, and I am not spending all the money to look at those things. My check doesn't look like theirs. Not yet. It will, in the name of Jesus, holla. But it doesn't yet, and that's okay. So even when I'm talking with them, I've got to remind myself, stay in your own lane, girlfriend. Keep doing what you're doing. It's been building up into this point, right? Keep doing what you're doing, and you will get there, but you got to stay in your own lane, okay? So if we're taking a look at the 3 legs and what we should be focusing on are income-producing things, all right, I want you guys just to look at these. Some of these things are self-care, exercising, proper nutrition, right? Getting the appropriate amount of sleep, feeding your brain with podcasts and books and training. How many of those things are free? You can make a lot of those things free. A lot of those things can be free. Obviously, you have to spend money to feed yourself. Like, I get it. But eating crappy food every day and eating out versus going ahead and making yourself something with amount of protein and veggies in it is going to cost significantly less, right? But you can listen to a podcast for free. You can get a book at the library for free, okay? You can go run around the block or take a walk in the sun for free, all right? Hey, Shonda. So you've got to think about those things. What about even for your sales, okay? If you're doing customer follow-ups, that's free. You're talking about Scentsy Club, that's free, right? We're talking about the sale today. You can do that easily for free. Like, it should not cost you a bunch of money, right, to start running your business the way that you need to run your business, all right? When I first started, I focused on, even as a brand new leader, I focused on my thank you cards. They were not a picture of me and my family that I printed from Walmart. They were from the dollar store. They're from the dollar store with a handwritten note from me with something, some random scent, okay? I didn't even label the scent, y'all. Some random scent dipped in felt, put in a plastic bag, and in the card I wrote, enjoy your black raspberry vanilla sample. Super simple. That did not cost me a lot of money, right? With my 40-something cent stamp and my $1 pack of 6 thank you cards, it didn't cost me a lot of money. I didn't need it to because I needed it to just get the word out that I'm being thankful. How many direct sales companies have you shopped with and they've never said thank you to you? They've never said thank you. You've never heard from them again, okay? You can do things on a smaller scale to get to where you want to be and build up slowly. The higher you get, the more customers you have, the better income you have, right? The more you can put out back into your business, okay? Like, you have to remember these things. They don't have to be crazy. They don't have to be fancy. And I know that some people are like, but that's my self-care is when I'm doing things that are fancy. And I love putting things together. And I think that's fantastic, but you have to keep it measured, okay? Because if you're focused all on the fancy, and you're not doing the follow-ups, that's an issue in your business. All right, that is a huge issue, okay? Not everybody's gonna have beautiful fancy bags. I still get my bags from the dollar store. You know what I do? I get those brown bags from the dollar store, and then I get a pretty color of the gift paper, a scent circle, and some ribbon. And I tie my scent circle to the outside. I pull my ribbon with my scissors to make it curly and cute, okay? And that's how I package my orders. It doesn't have my face on it. It's not all one color scheme. It's not all one style. That's okay, all right? It's okay. I just need you guys to remember that it's okay. You've got to stick to the 3 legs, okay? Because creating relationships with customers, growing that customer base, asking for parties, sharing on your stories, right? Doing your follow-ups, all of those things are free. They're all free. So if you cannot afford to give every single customer and your team can't afford to give every single customer a scent circle, that's okay. Give them something. You should be able to send them a thank you card in the mail. That should not be you should be able to afford that with your Scentsy check. Everybody that ordered, can get a thank you, right? But like, it's okay that you're not sending out huge VIP packages and you're not sending all this stuff. Yes, Shonda, keep it simple, you guys. Stay in your lane. Do what needs to be done to get to the next level. Do the fluff when you're really feeling down, because we all have those days, and you're like, I just do not want to work my business today. Do the fluff on those days. Go design a business card on those days, okay? But we can't sit here and be like, oh, I need to do X, Y, and Z. Oh my gosh, look, these SSDs are so cool. They're going out to lunch during the middle of the day. They're doing all this stuff, right? They're meeting up with all these people and making all these plans. It's not going to be the same as a lead, as a star, as a superstar, as a director. That's okay. So we've got to get it through our heads that it took time for them to get there and they're doing things on this level. You do the steps to get to that level, and one day that will be you too, but you're not going to come out the gate, right? And neither are your consultants, and it's super, super important for us to relay this to our teams. Like, you're not going to come out the gate doing what I'm doing. Your new consultants are not going to come out the gate doing what you're doing. That's okay. So it needs to be on their own scale, okay? And it needs to be what's income producing, because otherwise it's pointless, right? If you've got a brand new consultant, let's look at it this way. If you've got a brand new consultant who comes out of the gate, is spending all the money on this stuff, they're doing all these things, and they're like, yes, 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 they have such high sales, and probably about 2 or 3 months in, you start to realize, hold on, wait a minute, they're no longer producing the sales they were producing. What happened? They were putting a bunch of money into their business trying to keep up with the Joneses, keep up with the stars and the superstars and the directors, okay? And they couldn't replicate it because they didn't do the groundwork. So we've got to make sure we're doing the groundwork and teaching our consultants to do the groundwork so that they can go ahead and spend the money. They can go ahead. I'll put this out there for you guys. I always used to really wonder, because I do not have local customers. That is changing this month in the name of Jesus, okay? We're just putting it out there. If I don't have local customers, okay? See, Molly, exactly. I'm telling you, because we all see things and we're like, oh, I need to do that. I need to do that. And we get all of the ideas, but we get sidetracked by the actual groundwork of what it takes to get to the next level. It happens. It really does. But I sat there and I thought, oh my gosh, it's so crazy. How do these people have all of this stock? Why do they have all of this stock? Because I don't have local customers. So I'm sitting here with like nothing but what I use in my house, right? And I'm trying to figure out how all these people are getting all this stuff. Well, they're doing different events, okay? And at the time, I couldn't afford it. I could not afford it. My Scentsy check was being used for other things, but I was like, there is no way that I can just go ahead and order every single thing that comes out with Scentsy. I couldn't do it at the time, and that's okay. I can do that now. I had someone message me 2 weeks ago, and they said, hey, we have a spot open at the Holiday Bazaar. Our Scentsy girl never messaged us back. And I was like, I have no stock. Okay, I will do it. And I was able to go and order everything that I needed because the groundwork had been done. Now I have this check that I'm like, yes, I can put this back into my business and sell all this stuff at the event. I would not be able to do that at the very beginning of my business. I probably wouldn't have been able to even do that a year ago. That's okay, all right? But now this girl's like, it's $180 for your vendor fee. And I'm like, here you go. Okay, is that normal? I don't know, but like we're about to find out. Okay, but I was able to do that now. But that's not something that someone can just come out the gate with, okay? Otherwise, like I said before, it's not going to be replicatable. They're going to have all of this Scentsy and nothing to do with it. So now what? Because they don't have that customer base. Now what? Because they don't have that connection to go get that next vendor event. Now what do? They've got to start all back over, right? But then it's not going to show on their PRV because they're probably selling the stuff in their closet first. And then they're going to go have those parties. Do you see what I'm saying? So we have to stop looking at everybody. And I noticed it on the last SSD call when Chastity started talking. Everybody's like, oh, I love your office. Oh my gosh, look at your display. I love that. And I'm like, no, they're not even focused on what's important. They're focused on the looks, the pretty, the shiny, but they're not focused on what's important. And what was important was coming out of her mouth. But they were so distracted by what was in the background, they weren't even listening. But you can't get to the next level with everything that was in the background. That's not going to get you where you want to be in your business, right? No, of course it's not. What's going to be, what matters is what's coming out of her mouth because she's giving a training and letting you know what she does on the daily, what happens on the daily. Because those SSDs have all this pretty stuff behind them, yes, but I promise you they're in there doing all of the work. I know because I talk to them. They're back there doing the same work that you're doing. Probably even 10 times harder, to be 100% honest. Like, it's a little crazy, okay? But like, it didn't just happen. They didn't just have the shiny. So it's really important for us as leaders to make sure that our teams know, yes, this is how I'm doing it, okay? You do the best you can. Do not put in a whole bunch of money, invest in your business in other ways, but do not put in a whole bunch of money to do exactly what I'm doing. Do the income producing part of what I'm doing. That's missed so often, okay? So often. And I feel like I keep seeing it more and more and more as I go along, because now my stuff is starting to be the pretty and the shiny, and my teammates are wanting to replicate the pretty and the shiny, and I'm like, whoa, I didn't start with the pretty and the shiny. You got to calm it down, and you have to lay the foundation work. You're seeing what I'm doing right here, but there's steps to get there, okay? Focus on the income producing part, and then you can do the rest later, okay? So, hello, Miss Whitney. So that's what we're focusing on. We're focusing on the 3 legs. We're making sure that our teammates know the groundwork, majority of it is free. That is so important. Majority of the groundwork is free, okay? And that's what they need to be focused on. They don't need to be focusing on replicating every single thing an SSD does. They need to focus on the income producing parts of what the SSD is doing to get them to that SSD position and title, okay? All right, y'all have a good Thursday and a great weekend. Bye, guys.